most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona. Priscilla Leona. Only on LA Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome to Question Reality. I'm your host, Priscilla Leona, and we are coming to you live from Studio City, California. Now, our show is broadcast every Sunday from 5 p.m. to 5:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you. Our show is about questioning your reality. What it'll do is it helps you question your career reality. And this show, you'll know it's for you if you were, are, or might be considering a career in the entertainment industry. Now, our guests will provide you with advice and resource information on how and what it takes to successfully pursue a career in show business. Our guests work in various professions of entertainment, so that means we will definitely have someone on the show sooner or later from a career that you are interested. So you have to tune in to every show. Or you can check out our past guests, read their bios, listen to their interview instantly, or download one of the shows. You have to go to the LA Talk Radio website. Very easy, because if you're listening to me right now, you're halfway there. You're already on the LA Talk Radio website. So what you do is you click on the link at the top of the website that says Channel 1, scroll down and look for the graphic of our show, which is Question Reality. You click the link, and this will take you directly to our archive page where you can view the list of past guests. Now, our shows are also available for download on iTunes under the podcast section. You just type in Question Reality Radio in the search box. Now, if you want to find out about our future guests, we're booked with guests. Our show, thank God, praise Lord, it has become so popular, we are booked with guests until March. Can you believe it? Now, when I started the show back in 2008, I started with just my contact database, just a list of my friends as listeners, and I am just so happy that my database has grown in the thousands, and I am just thrilled. And I have got people that listen to my show, and now what's happening is instead of me having to worry about people wanting to be on my show, they're clamoring to get on here, thank God, and I'm very happy about that. So I want to thank everybody for listening and everybody who's referring people to come on to the show, which is great, and that's why we're booked until March. So if you want to come on the show, if you're a top industry professional, I recommend that you send me an email, and that's priscilla@questionreality.us, because we are booking now, and we only book top entertainment professionals. However, once in a while, we do have a beginning person on the show who can share a story about their trials and tribulations of what they're going through, because we always do like to hear what could possibly happen for the people who are thinking about a lateral move, or a person who's thinking about changing their career and going into it, so they'll know exactly what to expect. So again, thank you so much. We're booked till March. You want to come on the show, you know someone who's talented, who you think I'd like to have on the show, by all means, send me an email. Very excited, very, very, very excited to tell you that we have, are you ready for this? I am a huge reality television show watcher, as everybody knows who knows me. I watch every reality show I can get my hands on. The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Danielle Staub gives me a headache. I have a picture of her, and I throw darts at her. Yes. But one of my favorite shows is Survivor. Oh, my God. I would just kill somebody if they made me miss an episode of Survivor. So, of course, I know every single contestant that is on Survivor. And I was very fortunate. One of my listeners, Richard Andrews, he sent an email and he said, I love the show. I work out at the gym with two of the survivors two of the guys that are on Survivor. Ben Wade, who is known as the coach, the Dragon Slayer, who is one of my favorites. I love this guy. He was hysterical, but he's very wise, and he always had wonderful little anecdotes to share with us. And then another one of my favorite characters, Randy Bailey. And everybody used to call him the little grumpy guy. And I'm like, you leave Randy Bailey alone. I liked him. I always liked him, too. They were two of my favorite people. I said, Randy, he's just misunderstood. Well, I just couldn't believe it when this guy, a listener who I do not know, he asked me if I'd like to get him on the show, and I said, oh my God, absolutely yes. So he talked to them, and I am very, 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 very happy to tell you that Randy Bailey is going to be on the show next Sunday. Yes, next Sunday. So you have to spread the word. Spread the word to all the Survivor fans. Now, you know there are millions and millions of Survivor fans, so I'm going to be doing some heavy-duty press this week, but I am looking to you, my listeners, to spread the word also. And I'm going to open the show up next week for people to be able to call in to ask any questions that you want to ask of the Survivor, Randy Bailey. Now, we're going to have Ben Wade on. He's shooting a movie right now, so we're trying to schedule him for September, but we may not get him in until October. But it's going to be really great because Survivor, the show, actually starts this Wednesday. So everybody's going to be on the Survivor train for next Sunday. So please tell everybody Randy Bailey of Survivor is going to be on the show next Sunday. All right, so I got all of that out, and I hope you're excited about that. So again, if you want to check out any of our upcoming guests, go to questionreality.us. Again, not .com. Real quick before we bring our guest on, I just want to tell you who our guest is today. His name is Tony Jones, and he is a drummer, vocalist, and he's one of the leaders of a band called the Hodad's Band. And he is going to come on. This band is fantastic. I cannot tell you how freaking great this band is, and they are for hire. This is the best ultimate party band in LA. Now, the way I came across them, very funny, my husband has a coworker who is a crazy Beach Boy lover. I mean, this guy is fanatical about the Beach Boys, so much so that he records songs, and he sounds exactly like the Beach Boys. He does all the parts. He sings all the parts, the harmonies. He plays the instruments, and it would blow you away. The guy he used to be a musician back in the 60s and 70s, but he no longer plays in a band, but he's a huge fan of the music. So he follows the career of the Beach Boys, and he happened to say that during an interview, one of the band members of the Beach Boys, I won't say who, but they said if you want to hire, it was in conversation, it was, I wish that the Beach Boys would be for hire still today, because that would be a dream to have the Beach Boys play my party. And it just came out that the Beach Boy who was being interviewed said, well, there is a band that is almost as good as we were, and they're called the Hodad's. So, of course, my friend searched the internet and found them and listened to them, and he confirmed that this band was fantastic. So if you have an event, you want to hire this band, and I'll tell you a little bit more why. Now you say, what's a Hodad? When I first heard it, I'm like, what the heck is that? What's a Hodad? Well, it's surfer lingo, and it means one who poses as a surfer, right? So now none of the members of LA's best party band, the Hodad's, would be caught dead on a surfboard, but you can be assured that these talented entertainers, they are no pretenders. You book them at your party, oh my God, you're going to be the talk of the town. Everybody's going to want to book these guys. They consist of 5 multi-talented musicians, and who've worked with world-famous entertainers. And between all of them, they have like 100 years experience. And and they really know how to read the crowd. And what they do, they have themes. They're a theme band. They do so many different things, but they do themes such as California Beach Party, which would consist of all the Beach Boys type songs. They do Blues Brothers. They do Motown Review. They do disco 70s, Margaritaville, 50s sock hop music, psychedelic 60s music. They do country and western. They do a biker theme, which I'd like to see that. They do a yacht club theme, Hollywood theme, a classic rock show. So the Hodads blend. They blend their unique ability to interact with the audience, and they have outfits for every single theme. So they're definitely the genuine, real deal. This would be great. They do a lot of corporate events. They do a lot of private events, and they also have, what's really cool about them is that they have celebrity impersonations. Oh, and they're just spot on. They do Elvis. They do Louis Armstrong, Tony Bennett, Louis Prima. They do everything. They've got country, western, line dancing, hip-hop sounds, 50s and 60s stuff. They've got all these whacked-out, colorful costumes. They do the whole production. So I would highly recommend that you get these Hodads to transform your event into something extraordinary. I tell you one thing, I'm having a birthday party next year. I'm not going to have one this year. I usually have one, but something came up. But I tell you, I am going to try to book them for my birthday party next year in November. So if you want to hire the best damn band, you want to book the Hodads. So for corporate events, private events, they'll come to you. I don't know what the hell they charge. You'll have to call Tony and ask them and try to work out a deal, try to get a discount, say you heard about him. You know what? You may be able to talk him into giving you a discount. I don't know. He could be getting mad with me. We'll have to find out. But you might want to call him up, go to his website, hodads.com, HODADS.com, and say, hey, I heard about you from Question Reality. Do I get a discount on my event? You never know. You can try. Now, their songs are, I'm telling you, they have got beach party buffet songs like Surfing USA, California Dreaming, California Girls, I Get Around, Help Me Rhonda. Then they have a disco section. They do the typical disco YMCA and the Navy, Macho Man, Funky Town, Hot Stuff. You know what disco is. And then they do country western. Some of the songs on their song set list are. Now, that gets a little crazy because I'm not a country western fan. I only know a couple songs, but they have Beer for My Horses. Now, I've got to actually pull that one up. When I read that on their song set list, I said, what the hell? But country music always has those weird titles. So some of the songs they do are Beer for My Horses, It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere. Of course, I do know Achy Breaky Heart. They've got Neon Moon. That actually sounds kind of cool. So Guitars and Cadillacs. I don't know. You probably know this if you're a country music fan. Then they have contemporary. They do that, Hey Ya, Crazy in Love, Game of Love, Don't Know Why, If I Ain't Got You, Wicked Game, Mambo No. 5. And they do 80s. Oh, now I love my 80s music. So they do Billie Jean and Super Freak and Hey Mickey and Hotel California. And then they do Blues Brothers, Soul Man. Now, I've never heard of Green Onions or Hip Hugger, but they do Knock on Wood, In the Midnight Hour, Psychedelic Biker. Now, I was thinking, what in the heck is that music? Have I ever heard it? And I didn't know that the song Born to be Wild and Purple Haze and Fire were considered psychedelic biker music. But yeah, and Under My Thumb. So it's good to know that. Then they do 50 sock hop music, Shout at the Hop, I Only Have Eyes for You, Johnny Be Good. Now, they do impersonations, which is always good. I always like when I hire bands, I always try to hire bands that do impersonations. So they do Elvis, again, Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, Don't Be Cruel. Under the impersonations, they do Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World. They do Tony Bennett, San Francisco, I Left My Heart in San Francisco. Louis Prima, Just a Gigolo, and, of course, my favorite, Frank Sinatra, New York, New York. And then they do Hollywood and Broadway songs, My Favorite Things, People, Memory, Phantom of the Opera. You're like, oh, my God, how are you serious? I know that people listening are going, are you serious? Do I get all of those songs for one price? And can I do a mixture? So we're going to find out. I could go on. They've got 3 more pages, but I'm not going on about any more songs, because one of the things I want to find out is, can you get all of these songs or a mixture of these songs if you hire them? Because I would like to get a little bit of all of it. Or when you hire them, do you have to kind of give them one category? Do they do one sort of theme? So that's something we are going to find out. Now, Tony, my God, Tony Jones, again, he's a native Los Angelan or Angelino, and he was raised in a musical family. His father, Rick, was a drummer, songwriter, and his grandfather, Leo Rene, was a prominent songwriter in Los Angeles. He penned songs like Rockin' Robin, When the Swallows Come Back to Capistrano, and When It's Sleepy Time Down South. And Tony himself has performed with Milton Berle, Fred Travalena, Danny Gans, the Drifters, the Coasters, Billy Preston, Patty Andrews, and a whole lot more. And he's also, as I said earlier, he's known for his vocal impersonations of Louis Armstrong, Elvis Presley, Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, and Ray Charles. And he is the one of the creators of this band, this extremely successful band, and they're LA-based, again, and the Hodads. They have been together since 1989. They have appeared with Kool and the Gang, the Beach Boys, the Smothers Brothers, Tony Danza, the Safaris, Jim Belushi, Steve Vai, Stephen Bishop, Bob Saget, Louis Anderson, Jerry Lewis, Casey Kasem, Vince Gill, Trisha Yearwood, Lily Tomlin, and played in the movie The Replacement. So, isn't that exciting? Well, without further ado, I wish I had a drum roll sound. I'm going to have Dina, I'm going to ask Dina where I can get a drum roll sound. She's going to have to play a drum roll. I'm going to start doing a drum roll for all my musicians. Without further ado, we are going to talk to him now. Tony Jones, are you there?
Yes, I am.
I'm out of breath. I can't talk anymore. You're going to be talking the rest of the damn show, because I just can't go on. You're just so impressive. I've just got pages and pages, and I had to go through it. I'm like, oh, well, what can I pull from this and that and that? I didn't know what to include because there's so much. Isn't that
Priscilla,
true? Isn't it
that's
true?
That's amazing. It's amazing.
You're so complicated.
This band is full of entertainment.
Tony.
Yeah, there's so much talent.
Well, what's going on? How could you have all this excitement going on in your life?
Well, personally, I was raised in a musical family, so it was easy for me to embrace everything that's musical and in different styles. You know, I grew up in Hollywood, surrounded by the music business, and my grandfather, Leon Rene is his name, he was a musical mogul here in Los Angeles. He had his own record company in the 40s called Exclusive Records, where he had a roster of different artists from all backgrounds. He had mainly R&B artists and pop, but some were country, and it was just basically the people who couldn't get on the major labels. And he discovered Nat King Cole and made his first record, and also he went on and then started his own company in the 50s called Class Records, where he had his song Rockin' Robin. That was the biggest song that of his that was on that label. So
wow.
That's what I grew up around.
Oh, my God. I'm already overwhelmed. Boy, you must have had, as a kid, you must have had all the hot chicks over at your house swimming in the pool, and you didn't know what you were going to do with yourself, huh? Had all the celebrities over there, huh? Well,
there was always a lot of celebrities coming around. You know, it was an interesting time, and it was busy, you know, for quite a long time. But not, you know, and after things died down after the period of popular acclaim, and you know, then it goes on to somebody else. But you know how that's the music business.
Then you started getting leaves in the pool and you couldn't clean them out, huh?
Well, we didn't have a pool.
Oh, you did? Oh, God. Well, everybody on the East Coast thinks everybody in California has a pool. And I said, no, they don't. I have one. But
only in the valley, I think.
Yeah, in the valley. Oh, my God, you need a pool in the valley. Oh, you need a hose that's on 24 hours in the summer. Now, let me ask you, what did you – I know you're a kid. You're surrounded by celebrities and all of this record fame and acclaim. But let me ask you, a lot of people who are children, they don't necessarily want to follow that path. But what did you want to do when you were a kid? Did you want to go into the music business, or did you want to follow another path? What were your thoughts of what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Well, of course, nobody knows what they want to do when they grow up. I mean, some people might know, but I didn't. I wasn't basically trained in music, and I started out early playing piano, and I was basically writing some music when I was a kid and playing in bands when I was in high school. And I was discouraged by my grandfather, who was in the music business and actually was involved in different scandals, like the payola scandal. And he got a bad taste of the music business, and he didn't want anybody to really go through what he went through. So he said it wasn't a good business to be in. But although he was in it at the very inception of the recording industry, and it was a good time, for someone to start out, and that's what he had the number one crossover record in the West Coast. It was a song called "The Honey Dripper" by Joe Liggins, and it crossed over the pop and the R&B categories, and became a huge hit. So he was there. He found the guy in a club. And he decided to make a record out of it. And things like that don't necessarily happen like that anymore. It's a whole different corporate.
Oh yeah, we've
machine.
got American Idol now. American Idol discovers everybody. That's
That's
get
true.
on American Idol now. Now guys back then, the people at the inception of the music business, they were the moguls. They were the power moguls, and it was good, but it was also bad because they really did. Some of them, not all, but some of them did abuse their power. Specifically with the whole payola thing. So I can understand your grandfather's point, because in his mind, he thought that payola was going to just continue.
Also, it was de rigueur. I mean, it was what you had to do to get your songs played. So,
right. And for people who don't understand what payola is, why don't you explain that to them?
I was basically, you have to pay to get your music played.
Yeah, so you basically slip what the people used to do is they would, their managers or agents or even sometimes themselves, the people, musicians, they would have to pay the DJs, because back then that's how people heard your records. So, of course, imagine as a DJ, you've got thousands and thousands of people who want you to play their record, because if you play their record and it's a hit, oh my God, then that's going to just set your whole career. So these DJs and record executives, radio station executives, they were all powerful, and they would take money from you. If you slipped them, money, they would play your record. And it wasn't fair, because the people who couldn't afford to give them money, they may not get any radio play at all. So it was kind of like a pay to play thing, which has a different definition now, because now it's like you have to pay musicians. A lot of musicians out here, clubs like the Roxy and the Whiskey, if you come out here to be a musician, some of the things that you do in order to play at these places, you have to buy tickets, and they have club promoters now out here.
Right.
And what they do is they sell you tickets. You, as a musician or a band, you have to buy tickets, like $100. So you pay them, and then it's your job to go and get people to buy your tickets to come see your show. And that's what pay to play means now. But back in the inception, that's what Tony's talking about. It was payola.
So let's see. As far as the the business itself right now, I mean, a lot of us went through the club scene. We also went through different playing behind different acts individually, backing up different acts. The bass player John has played with Jose Feliciano and Brian Setzer. He tours with them very regular. And actually, the keyboard player in the band, Sterling, he used to be in the Beach Boys. He played on the road with the Beach Boys. Actually, when Brian Wilson was still in the band. And,
really? Yeah. Let's go through. Let's name all the members of your band, and then give us the backup stories.
Okay.
So and their instrument.
Sure. Okay. Well, as I mentioned, John Hatton. He's the bass player. He also plays. He plays a mean upright bass. He's very well known in the rockabilly circles, and that's how he landed the job with Brian Setzer. And he also plays fiddle too, so he's a triple threat, and all of us sing, by the way. So that's what makes the Beach Boys part of our band come alive. Is that we've got to have at least 4 vocals. So we have 5 vocals. I mean, the Beach Boys had 4, but they later on they just kept layering on with multi-tracking. So it made it sound like choirs. So it's very hard to duplicate that live, but they were always a good band live vocally. So, and then we have Sterling Smith. He's a keyboard player, and he plays in all kinds of bands. I mean, he had a lot of original bands back in the 80s when he came out here from Columbus, Ohio.
Did he ever play with Duran Duran?
No,
Damn.
I don't think he...
Right.
That must be one of your favorites.
That's one of my favorites. Yes, it is. Okay.
I know he played with.
I'm still waiting for you to be one of my favorite bands, and I'm gonna have to send you on a mission to get him to track him down and get me an autograph picture. But go ahead. Next.
Well, how about Meatloaf? Do you like Meatloaf?
I did. I liked 3 Times a Lady, but that's probably the only song that I liked.
No. Well, anyway, he played with Meatloaf.
Okay. All right, good. Okay. He's a nice guy, though. Great personality. Love the guy.
Yeah, he is.
And he's a great actor, too. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. So Sterling's played with the Beach Boys, and he played with Jan and Dean and toured with them. So the other members of the band, we have Bob Schuster plays guitar and sings. And
who did he play with?
Who did he play with? I don't even remember. Okay. I met him playing in a lot of casual bands out here. Which, playing casuals are just private parties and events.
And what instrument does he play again? I'm sorry, what instrument? Guitar,
Electric guitar, yeah.
Okay, so we got bass, guitar, keyboard, your drums.
Yeah, right, and a saxophone player, Jimmy Street. And he sings, he's one of the lead singers, and he also plays saxophones, all the different saxophones, like alto, tenor, he plays flute, and clarinet, and he plays rhythm guitar as well. So
now that name, Jimmy Street, that sounds like he did some dangerous stuff back in his day. Sounds like he was involved in some serious activity. Now, who did he play with that we might know?
Well, that's a good question. You're getting. I know he played some parties with Frank Sinatra.
Oh, well, hey, you can't go higher than Frank. That's the chairman of the board. You can't go higher than Frank. So that's enough. He's got his cred with us today, playing with Frank. But let me ask you, the guy that played with the Beach Boys, what's his name, Sterling?
Yeah, Sterling Smith.
Sterling. Now, what did he say about the Beach Boys? You got any scoops for us? How was it playing with them? Were they nice? Because I heard that one of them was not nice.
Well, we're
not going to talk about how nice he is, but give us some stories where they, how was it to work with them? Was it very much like the way you work with the Beatles, or?
Well, he has all kinds of stories, and actually you should probably talk to him regarding that.
Oh, you've just given me a lead for a guest. Now, I'm counting on you, Tony. You got to talk him into doing the show so we can talk about all the Beach Boy scoops.
Well, you probably have to give him at least 2 hours, because he'll go on forever.
Oh, I love that. So will I. So we'll fill a whole show. He'll do half and I'll do half. Oh,
that's
yeah.
Right.
So will you please do me that favor and have him contact me so we can book him for the show?
Oh, definitely.
Because we want some Beach Boy scoops. I think there's only one. Is there only one Beach Boy left? Brian Wilson?
Brian Wilson has his own band, and we know all the guys that play with them. We've worked with them over the years, and they played with our band too. And also, there's the Mike Love band, which is also called the Beach Boys.
Okay.
So I don't think Brian calls his the Beach Boys. It's a Smile band, or he has different projects that he's been doing.
Yeah, I just saw him advertised on an infomercial or something. I think it was maybe Christian music or gospel or symphony music. I know it wasn't Beach Boy type music, but I cannot remember what it was. But I do remember.
I know he has a new project, and I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you know what? So you covered all the members of your band. Did we get everybody?
Well, that's the core of the band, the five of us, and we started, like you said, in 1989, and basically we were hired to play California beach theme parties, and we knew that, with the talent that we had and also the repertoire, that we could play a lot of different types of parties. The first parties were we would be hired to play sometimes on the beach and for a corporate party or what have you. And that would be in that theme. We dress like the Beach Boys, do a lot of their material, et cetera, and that would be the flavor. So we decided, well, if we're going to put a package together, let's not just be one kind of band, like a tribute band. Let's, because we want to work all the time. So we expanded our horizon and said, well, we can do this and this and this. So we have these different themes that, like the 50s theme, like the Blues Brothers show, where two of the guys actually, Jimmy and John, go out and be Jake and Elwood, and we back them up. And we've done that. We actually did that recently at the House of Blues. We did a show there.
Oh, you did? Well, recently, like within the last couple months?
Well, I think it was last year. We did a private event there.
Oh,
it was wonderful.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God.
Stage.
I went to House of Blues for the first time a couple months ago. My husband was there in the band, and they opened for what's that guy that sang Cat Scratch Fever? Ted Nugent. Yeah. So he opened up for them, and it's a fantastic venue. I had never gone there because I don't know. It's so expensive to get in, and no band has ever really moved me enough to go there. But I just heard a clip on the news, and unfortunately I missed it. But it was one of those teasers, and they said that they were going. It said. I can't. I'm going to paraphrase because I can't remember exactly what it was, but they insinuated that the House of Blues was going to be closing.
Right. Well, there was problems with the neighborhood, and they're trying to work that out, I believe, with the city of West Hollywood. Because
so you heard the rumor too, right?
That was more than a rumor, actually. This was going on for a couple of years, and there were some shootings there, and it was getting pretty rowdy. So,
God! Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah. Jesus God. So you guys do all kinds of, you've got outfits. I mean, if you're doing 50s, you dress 50s. If you're doing 60s, you dress 60s, 70s, etc. Is that correct?
That's correct. We, basically, if someone hires us for a party, sometimes they do have a theme in mind. I mean, a while back, people used to hire us and say, hey, we'd like to do this where you're a different band every set. So it was like, okay, well, basically we have 3 sets an evening that would last maybe 4 hours. So, one set would be a beach theme, one set would be the blues theme, and one set might be the psychedelic, or it might be more contemporary, because we do a lot of songs that are, in a contemporary form. So we dress in those particular costumes, and sometimes people go, oh, are you the same band that played, because they didn't know.
Right. Now let me ask you, that is something that personally I would be interested in hiring you for. Now, if I wanted to hire you and I wanted that because that really appeals to me, is it the same price, or do you charge more for that if they want a different theme for every set?
Yeah, well, it's like we can't do everything, but it's like, people sometimes ask, do you do all these themes at once? No, we can't, because it's not physically possible. But we do. It's the same price.
So if we wanted to hire you and I said, I'd love to do 80s, I'd say I want to do 50s, I want to do 80s, and I want to do disco. Well, I think your song set list, I don't know, do you combine that? So you would have to do like the full change, right? You would have to do say I wanted beach party. So you're in your little beach party outfits for that set. And then you take a break. Is that how it works? And then you change your outfit and then you would come back in your disco outfits?
We sometimes do that. Sometimes, we stay in one outfit. If people aren't really necessarily need that costume change, we could play any style of music and stay in a generic costume. I want you in your beach party attire with lace, and I want you to do it all up. So that is possible. So for the first set, you would do beach party music. It would be all beach party music. And then if I wanted you to do, 50s next, you would do 50s. And then if I wanted you to do psychedelic, that would be a different outfit. So that is something that you do when someone hires you. They can get that. Yes. And one more thing I'd like to add.
And it's not an extra price for that.
No.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Now, I know, of course, booking bands, when I book bands, I made sure that the client also provided food for the musicians. I also made other provisions. That's just because I always took care of the musicians.
You're good.
Sometimes, because I have heard stories from band members where they don't get any food, they don't get a break, and I'm like, no. And then they want to pay you in a check. Now, I'm sorry, but because my husband, also plays music, and one thing that drives me crazy is when he goes to do a gig and they give him a check. Now, I know, of course, with corporations, you get a check, but if you're just doing a private gig, give the damn musicians cash. They don't want any damn check. Most of them don't even have a checking account. They have to take the check to a check cashing place, and then the check cashing place takes 10% of the check to cash it. So give the people cash. They want the cash. Who doesn't want cash? Am I right, Tony?
Cash is great. Cash is king.
We
definitely.
love cash, right? Yeah. And then sometimes, don't you hate it when you go do a gig? I know sometimes my husband does gigs, and then he'll be expecting cash or check at the end of the night, and then the guy says, oh, you know what, they're not paying us for 2 weeks. Just happened at the House of Blues when Albert did the gig for the opening for Ted Nugent and stuff. Oh no, they didn't pay the guy, so the guy doesn't pay my husband, so my husband has to wait for the House of Blues to pay them. I don't like that. No, that's not acceptable. But a lot of businesses do that, and that's something I just wanted to point out. Now, you have played. Your band is so popular that you play for some of the top corporations in the world. Some of the partial clients that I have on the list are Microsoft, IBM, Sprint, Toshiba, Sony, Panasonic, CBS, Epson, Coors, McDonald's, Shell. Oh my God, there's so many. Pepsi.
There's so many.
DuPont. Oh my God, there's so many of them. God, it's endless. All the top corporations. So they obviously have hired you because corporations usually only hire the best bands. So you guys are one of the best party bands. You're very professional. Show up on time. And you do your job, and you don't fight with the customers or the clients. A lot of bands, oh my God,
Never.
you know what that's like. I've been in situations where the band members I've hired bands, and I always try to hire bands where I get a word of mouth reference. So I know that on your website you guys have testimonials, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes, you do. Very important, people. Hire a band with testimonials. I used to hire musicians when I first started out, when I was a rookie booker, and I would hire people that one of the guys would say, oh, yeah, I work with him. He's really good. And I would take their word and hire him. Next thing you know, he's getting in a fist fight with the husband of the person who hired me to book the band.
Oh, no.
You never know. You never know. And it's those damn jazz musicians. No.
Hey,
Okay,
I like
you know
jazz.
what? It's my husband's a jazz musician, so
my.
yeah, they get a little testy if you tell them what to play. It's like they want to play
I
what they
know.
want to play, and they want to play solos that go 20 minutes. Oh, I don't even want to start about that. I love my jazz musicians, though. Yay. Okay, had to get that in. Now, it's 5:40. We only have 10 minutes, and I want to play your demo because I want people to hear what I have been talking about. Wait till you hear this band. So we're going to play. Now, this is a demo clip. This is a sample of all the different songs and styles that the Hodads do. So I am sure you're going to hear something. Well, is it all? Is it all or just a little sampling?
Okay, yeah, this is not all the styles, obviously.
Okay.
This is a sample of basically a package that we have called Hodads Plus, which actually we have girls and horns in the band, and it's a larger band. We always work with different, depends on what size they want. Sometimes they want a small band, 5-piece is the minimum for us, but they can expand it up to, sometimes we have 10 horns, 3 girls, 4 rhythm. It expands exponentially. So here's a demo of basically more contemporary tunes from the Hodads Plus.
Okay, Dina, are you there, sweetie pie? Or are we ready to play the demo from the Hodads?
Coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up, you better help me hook with your patient right now. You kids got me hooked with your save me right now. Looking so crazy in love, got me looking so crazy in love.
Everybody have fun tonight. Let's celebrate. Come on, y'all. Don't wanna meet your dad. Just put you in my ghetto. Someday, when I'm awfully low and the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am
listening to those clips, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this doesn't even sound like a band. This sounds like a recording that came out of the studio. Am I right?
Well, it was recorded, definitely.
Well, it was recorded in a studio. I mean, I know it's not. You didn't record it at a gig, you know. Right. But it just sounds like the band. What I mean by that is the band sounds so good that they sound like professional. Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying? It sounds like something that you would buy that was of the quality of, say, you were going to buy a Gwen Stefani record or Justin Timberlake, or you know what I'm saying?
We try to get the best sound possible with the band and try to duplicate exactly what the recorded sound, no matter what style it is. We try to duplicate that sound and not try to make it just sound generic.
You guys need to make you know what you need to do, Tony? You need to make an album. You need to make a CD and record all those songs and sell them at your gigs.
Well, we do.
You do? Oh my God! See, I didn't know that. That wasn't in my press package. You mean I can actually get all those songs on a CD?
Well, not all of those songs that you just heard, but actually we have a demo that has other songs like the Beach Boys stuff, the Elvis, and different things that we do as a group, not necessarily with the girls. So with the smaller group, and that we sell at our events.
I like the girls. The girls are hot. They are really good singers. Man, what's the name of that girl who sings At Last?
At Last, that was Robin Kermsey. Her name is Robin Kermsey. Robin Kermsey. Oh my God, I love her. Is she for hire, like independently? Ooh, she is independently.
Let's give her a plug. Does she have her own website?
I think she does. She's I don't know her website, but her last name is Kate.
How do you spell her last name? Because I tell you, we want to know.
Kirmsee.
Wow, she's hot. How do you get these hot singers for your band?
There are so many talented musicians in this town. It's amazing. And these ladies that we work with are not only professional singers, they are just professional entertainers. They go out and get people in the audience motivated. It's part of all of us. We all do that. We all try to make sure that everyone at our parties has a wonderful time and wants to dance. That's what we want.
And that is what it takes to make a successful band at your party. There is nothing more terrible than hiring a band and spending a lot of money and then having the band not be social with the guests to just do the songs they want to do, not take requests. And one of the things that irritates me more than anything is when one of my guests goes up to the band and says, "Oh, can you guys play that?" And then they say, "Oh, it's not on our song set list," or "We don't know that song." So if you want to hire a band that knows a ton of songs and that most likely will know a song that you want to hear, you definitely want to hire the Hodads for sure. And we've got 1 minute, and I want to know, let's see, the website is Hodads, HODADS.com. HODADS.com. Do not type the Hodads, because I accidentally did that, and I ended up on a website with these 4 Australians.
That's right. There's another band.
Yeah, it's another band, but I think they're in Australia, right? So
yes.
Won't be a problem. So the Hodads, the band website is HODADS, and I want anything coming up. Real quick, you're doing something in San Juan Capistrano, right? A public event.
Yes, we are. That is next Wednesday, the 15th. We're playing for the city of San Juan Capistrano from 6:30 to 8:30. It's a live, free concert, and this is going to be wonderful.
Where is it? Where's it going to be?
San Juan Capistrano.
Is it in the city civic center park? Where?
It's called the HTC Park, which I think is a historic town center park.
Excellent. Okay, we got it. Tony, thank you so much for being on the show. We're out of time. Please, Hodads.com. Listen to our show next week. We're going to have Randy Bailey of Survivor. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Tony, thank your audience and say, hire the Hodads.
Hire the Hodads. Thank you, Priscilla.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona. Only on LA Talk Radio.